What up, you guys? It's your girl Nike, and I'm back today with another video. So today's video is gonna be a story time. Story time. And as you can see back here, I have Lucky, my dog, in the video. For whatever reason, he's attached to my hip today, and he does not want to get up. So he is going to be joining in on the story time. So jumping right into the story. If you can tell by the title, this story is going to be about the time that my best friend started smashing my man. True story. True story. All right, so I'm going to try not to make this video really long because trust me, it's kind of a long story, but I'm going to summarize it, okay? So I am going to call my best friend Kat, okay? For name purposes, I'm not going to drop their names. However, if you went to school with me or if you know me, more than likely you already know this story. So follow along, okay? So my best friend Kat and we were best friends, no lie, since we were kids. We met, I want to say, in the 6th grade, playing basketball. If you didn't know, I am a hooper. Always have been, always will be at heart. But we played basketball together. We went to high school together, and we literally did everything together. Like everything you can think of, we did it. When you saw Kat, you saw Kia. So it was just like Kat and Kia. We hung out so much together that we started to look alike. That's what people would say. But I mean, between you and me, I was always the cuter friend. But yeah, so anyway, we did everything together. We talked on the phone for hours. We saw each other every day at school, every day at practice. She knew all my secrets. She knew, I mean, she was dead ass, like a sister to me. She was dead ass like a sister to me. So me and Kat, we had like typical friend arguments, but we never had a fight, like a real like fight. Like, this was my dog. Like, I loved the shit out of this girl. Like, I dead ass looked at her like a sister. So, in high school, I was a lot skinnier. A lot skinnier than I am now. I'm not skinny now, and I am a very curvaceous woman, and I'm very proud of my curves. However, I was very skinny in high school, but I always had like a cute face. I thought I had a cute face, and I've always been goofy, right? So I went through boyfriends, like cute little, you want to go out with me, I'm going to kiss you, walk me to class type of deal. But it wasn't until I was in the 10th grade when I got my first like real boyfriend, y'all. Like, for namesake, we will call him Judas. Yeah, so Judas was my very first boyfriend, and like my very first love, my first like real relationship. And that was in the 10th grade. Kat was a part of the reason that we got together. She like low-key hooked us up. She had a class with Judas, and she knew that I was crushing on him. We all had Spanish together. So she had earlier peers with him. So he walked into Spanish class. Here he is, this 6'5" tall drop of caramel chocolate, and my eyes just was, insert emoji with the heart eyes here. That was me when I first laid eyes on him, and I told Kat, I was like, I want him. Like, he was the most gorgeous person that I had ever seen, like ever, okay? So now Kat had earlier classes with him, so without me knowing, she told him that I liked him and that I was feeling him or whatever, right? So once we got to Spanish class again, he slid me a note and was like, what's up? My name is Judas. Here's my phone number. If you're interested, give me a call. Bitch. I was geeked as fuck. Like, so fucking geeked. Like, oh, he liked me. Hell yeah. I'm gonna call. Like, back then there was like no shame. I did not wait to call him. I called him soon as school let out, soon as basketball practice let out, I called him. And it was history. Like, the rest was history. So I ended up being with him for 3 years. He was my first love, my first everything. He took my V card. And yeah, we were dating for a year and a half before we started hooking up sexually. Okay? So it was great. I was so in love with Judas. Like, if this guy would have said jump, I would have said how high, baby. Like, what do you want? You want me to do a cartwheel too? Like, you just want me to jump, or you want me to do a cartwheel too and a flip? Like, let me know. Like, I was head over heels for this boy, like, dead ass. And the funny thing about it is, Kat used to talk to his godbrother. Like, we used to hang out, the four of us, and you know, his godbrother was like really his godbrother. They were close. They basically like lived together for a couple of years at one point too. But Kat and his godbrother, they used to, you know, talk or date and hang out and hook up, and they were basically on the verge of like being together. And then it was me and Judith. So it was like the four of us. Fast forward to year 3, or actually year 2.5. We're kind of arguing, we're fussing, we're fighting, and he just decided to like move to a different state. And I couldn't do a long distance relationship, and he couldn't do a long distance relationship, so we decided to break up. And that was like the hardest thing for me. Like, I felt like my soul was gone from out of my body. Like, talk about heartbreak, y'all. Like, there is literally truly nothing like your first heartbreak. Like, I was so heartbroken. Like, so heartbroken. So we decided to break up, but in my mind, like in the back of my mind, I always was under the impression that eventually he'll come back to me, or like I always held on to hope that we would still be together. Because even though he moved to another state, I would still call him, I would still send pictures, I would still, like, I would have loved to go see him. But back then, like, I'm in the 11th grade, like, ain't no way in hell my mama finna let me go see my boyfriend, which I wasn't even supposed to be dating, but like my mom knew, because I'm very open with my mom. Like, my mom, I told my mom when I lost my virginity. Like, you know, it's such a great thing to be able to have a mom that you could just talk to. But anyway, she has always been my best friend, but she would never have allowed me while in high school to go stay a weekend with my boyfriend in another state. Like, that is out. So I would always talk to him on the phone. We would always write each other, because back then it wasn't about emailing. It wasn't like, it was letters, like pen paling. We would always talk on the phone. There was no FaceTime, so it was literally just basic letters, phone calls, and like pictures sent through the mail. So, long story short, fast forward almost a year later, it's my senior year in high school. I'm over the heartbreak. I've been kind of dating, but not really, like talking to other guys, entertaining other guys, going on dates, but like nothing compared to what it was with him, right? So December rolls around and we're on Christmas break, and we have like basketball tournaments, and he walks through the gym doors. I didn't know he was coming home. He walked through the gym doors, and my heart literally melted. Like, I melted with excitement. I was nervous. I was like scared, but I was super happy to see him. Mind you, again, we are not together technically, but this is still my babe. Like, everybody in the school knew. It was always Kia and Judas. Like, Kia and Judas, when you saw him, you saw me. Like, he was off limits, like, to anybody, because they knew, you know, here's this girl, she's like a jock, if you want to put a label on it. She plays basketball, she runs track, she's into sports. Then you have this 6'5" superstar who's like one of the superstars on the men basketball team. So it's like, we were like the it couple. Nah, that's putting too much on it. We were not the it couple. We were just one of those couples that everybody knew about. Like, they were together, they were in love, like, boom, that's her man. You never seen Judas without Kia. You never saw Kia without Judas. And then it would be like Kia, Judas, and Kat. Always. But it didn't feel like the third wheel, because that was my best friend. Nah, fuck that. That was my sister, basically. So it was always like a threesome with us or a foursome with us. Not sexually, but just like, you know, you never saw one without the other. So he comes and, you know, we hang out. We're back to like hanging out, but something is different with Kat now. She is being a lot more flirtatious with Judas, like around me. And you know, this is my sister, and I never thought nothing about it, but everyone around me would say, like, Kia, something just is not right with him. Like, you literally need to open your eyes and see. And I'm just like, what? Like, get the f out of here. Like, that is like my sister. Are you crazy? Like, she would never. Like, to be completely honest with you, I was like pressuring other girls. Like, I remember writing a letter to this one girl who ran track, and to this girl who used to be like really one of my really good friends in the 9th grade. She was like a best friend. Me like accusing her of like wanting to hook up with him, or like liking him or taking an interest to him, when honestly I was so damn blinded by the fact that they were right in front of me. Like, the Kat and Judas were right in front of me, and I was just so blinded by like how much loyalty I had for them, that in my mind it was just like impossible. I hope I'm explaining this right, but like anyone who's been in a situation like this knows exactly what I mean, right? So she starts acting funny. Like, we start fighting a lot more, like arguing. And I'll never forget, we had one argument that was so minor. She made it into something so big. Like, I'm not your best friend anymore, and we're not going to be friends anymore. And I'm just kind of like, it's a fight. Like, best friends fight all the time, but it's not like worth losing our friendship over. Like, why are you in such a hurry to lose our friendship? Like, I don't get it. And back then, like, my pride would be like, I'm not going to kiss nobody's ass. Like, if you don't want to be my friend, fuck you then. If you don't want to be my friend, like, I'm the shit. I'm a dope ass friend. If you don't want to be my friend, then fuck you. But my feelings was really hurt. I was just like, why the fuck don't you want to be my friend? Like, we got to see each other every day. We got to practice every day. We still got all of our classes together. And, like, you just really don't want to be my friend because we had one fight, like, for a stupid fight. So, like, deep in my soul, I always knew it was something deeper. And later on, which I'm going to tell you guys, it revealed itself to me. So, it was going around school that Judas and Kat were seen behind the school, which is somewhere where we used to go, like, make out, like, when no one else was around. Oh, I forgot a part. So he came back in December and he re-enrolled in school. So for the rest of our senior year, he was at our high school again. So that's a very important part that I forgot to say. So he played in a basketball game. He's back in school. And we basically tried to pick up where we left off, right? Which was being together. But for whatever reason, he didn't want us to be official. Like, he wanted the privileges of being my man, but he didn't want to be official. Or, you know, he just, I don't know, it was so weird. It was weird because it's so funny thinking about it now that I'm older, wiser, and not so fucking naive and believe anything this fool said. It was dead ass in front of me. Everything was in front of me, but I could never see it. I never seen it because he would never do that to me and she would never do that to me. Never. Like, it's so crazy to, like, truly believe in your heart. En tu corazón, que no es posible. But that shit was fact. The shit happened. It happened. Word got around that they were at the makeout spot, right? So Kat, of course, I had to see at practice. And back then, I wasn't really confrontational. So I didn't want to ask her about it, but I had an attitude. Like, there's no way that she could have been back there with him. Like, yeah, we're not best friends anymore, but like, there's just no way. Like, there's just no way. So we would go hard at practice. Like, we would throw elbows at each other, play dirty, and it was just like, it was just crazy. So I'll never forget that I asked him one day on the phone. We were on the phone, and I was like, you know, word got back to me that you and Kat was in the back of the school. Like, what was that about? And he was just like, yeah, Kia, like, I might as well tell you. We've been talking. And I literally dropped the phone and was like, what the you mean y'all been talking? Like, how? He was just like, I just can't stop thinking about her. And we've been talking. And I think that it's better you hear it from me than you hear it from anybody else. And I lost my shit. I was like, I'm coming over right fucking now. And you're going to tell me this face to face. So I go to his house and I'm like, explain to me. Like, explain to me, what do you mean by y'all talking? I was like, he was just like, I was gone. And when I was gone the whole time, we talked every day on the phone. Are you kidding me? So this bitch was talking to you every day while you were in another state, still being my best friend. We were still best friends for a whole year before this fight happened. So you mean to tell me that this bitch was talking to you in a romantic way behind my back while still being my best friend? Are you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, right? So of course, naturally, I broke down crying, heartbroken, and then him seeing me like that, I thought at that time, genuinely felt bad. Like, he was just like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna talk to her like that no more. Like, it's fucked up. It is fucked up. And I'm out of line, and I love you so much. Like, you are the perfect girl for me. And with her, it was just fun because it's different. Naive Nikia back in the day truly believed him. It was like, okay, like, didn't even put up a fight, nothing, right? So then fast forward a week, we go to the movies, me, him, his mom, and his mom's boyfriend. His mom loved me, and she was always like taking me places with him and stuff. So we went to the movies, and she kept blowing up his phone, and he didn't have her saved as Kat. He had her saved as a guy's name, and she kept blowing up his phone. And like I said, at the time, I didn't know it was her. So I'll never forget, he got out of the car while I think we were at a grocery store, and me and him stayed in the car, in his mom's car, and she kept calling him, and then he finally stepped out of the car and answered the phone, and I heard him like justifying himself to somebody. Like, I didn't answer the phone because we're doing this and we're doing that. Don't be mad, blah, blah. Just a whole bunch of bullshit, right? So I let him finish, but when he got back in the car, I gave him the third degree. Who the fuck was that? Why are you explaining yourself to anybody? Why the fuck you got out of the car to take the call? The whole shebang. So anyway, long story short, it came back to me that he said he decided not to stop talking to her. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm angry. I'm like, fuck you then. Like, bet, fuck you. Like, nigga, you got me fucked up. Like, you are dumb. Look at me. Look at her. You're dumb. That's all I'm going to say. So I got angry. Fast forward to when we got back to school. Mind you, I have to see this broad in school. I got to see this broad at practice. And then, like, we're not just a regular high school basketball team. We're, like, nationally ranked. So we're traveling constantly. We're going to Washington. We're going to Oakland. We're going to Texas. We're going to Arizona. We're going to all these kind of places, like everywhere. So I got to see her all the time. Every single day I was seeing this girl, right? So I'll never forget, like, we had words, and I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how dare you? You know, like, how fucking dare you? You couldn't find anybody else? Like, and what about you and his godbrother? Like, how fucking, you a grimy ass, scandalous ass, snake ass bitch. And in that order, like, you can't help who you love. That's what she said. You can't help who you love. Love. Like, oh, bet. Like, bet. So then I got like a fuck you attitude for them totally. Like, fuck him. Fuck you. I'm going to show both of y'all how fucking stupid y'all are. Right? So with me icing him out, it made him like want me more. Like, he was blowing up my phone. He was always trying to see me. He was always like begging and pleading, but he was still with her for like the remainder of the year because I wouldn't have him. So like me icing him out made him want me even more. Surprise, surprise, right? So it was the hardest thing that I had to do and the hardest thing that I ever had to deal with, because this bitch would be like, when we would be out of town, we were still roommates. Like, we got put in the same room, so she would be on the phone with him late at night and like just so blatantly disrespectful. Like, zero fucks. She gave zero fucks about the way it made me feel. But yeah, you're supposed to be my best friend at one point who truly loved and cared me at some point in your life, right? No, this bitch did not care, right? So this story is all over the place, but you guys are getting the point. So fuck both of them. It was like that. And then plot twist. He asked me to go to prom. And I said yes. On some fuck you shit. And I'm going to show you that if I want him, I can still have him. And guess who he took to prom? Me. And guess who had sex with him at prom? Me. And guess who could have still had him after prom? Me. She went to prom with her cousin, and I ended up going with him. Blatantly showed you that he gave zero fucks about her at that time, and he only was with her because he couldn't have me. Once I reached the fuck you point, he was like, oh, no, 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 no. You are it for me. You are who I want. I mean, look, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but BB, like, look at me. So we went to prom together. We had fun. We had a great time. She went to prom with her cousin looking like a total fucking idiot. Like, idiot. They already looked like an idiot to the whole school because it's like, damn, that bitch is fucking scandalous, because everybody knew we were best friends. Everybody knew we were best friends. And then for her to just march around with him, like, with her head held high, like, you looked so fucking trifling. She looked so fucking trifling. They would always say how fucking stupid and scandalous they are. Still to this day, people tell me, like, I don't know how the fuck you let that ride without fucking her up, because you're better than me. Like, that shit was fucking scandalous. But it happened. Like, it happened. So we went to prom together, had a great night. We went to after prom together. We stayed together. It was just fun. Like, you know what happens at prom. So after prom, I still didn't want nothing to do with him. At that point, I was still over it. I was over it. But I went to prom with him to prove a point. And because I wanted to. Like, he was still the love of my life. I just didn't want to be with him, you know. But I also went to prove a point. Like, and her dumbass took him back after prom. Like, after prom, she took him back. That's all on her, because he ended up cheating on her multiple times with me anyway. But that's a story time for a different day. I am so petty. I am so petty, and I don't give a fuck. So, graduation comes around. We graduate. They still are together, living their lives, happily go lucky. I go away to school for a year, come home for Christmas, and guess who he calls? Me. He calls me for Christmas. Like, duh. Guess who he spent it with? Me. He had a whole girlfriend. At this point, they had been together for like over a year. And he came home. He called me to hang out with him. And we went to my dorm and we had sex. Duh. Duh. Like, and then eventually she found out about it. She ended up texting my phone, calling my phone in like total distress, like crying. It was like, hey, I know you probably don't like me much, and I just really need to talk to you because Judah's cousin told me some stuff, and I just really don't know what to believe. And she was like, did you and Judas hook up? And I was like, when? And she was like, around Christmas time. And I was like, yeah, we did a few times. And she started bawling, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. She calls him on three-way. I was like, yeah, call him in. I don't have a problem, like, confessing to you. So, I mean, I don't have a problem standing in front of him because it happened. And he's on three-way. And he's like, she's lying. She's lying. And I was like, I'm not lying. This is what you had on. This is what you drive. This is where we went. Gave all the details. And I was like, and by the way, Kat, like, we didn't strap up. Like, so that just goes to show you how much he cares about you. And at this point, I'm being petty. Like, petty. I could have left out those details, but I don't give a fuck. Why the fuck am I going to help you or care about your feelings when y'all clearly didn't give a fuck about mine in high school? Like, but once again, I go to show you, niggas ain't shit. And at the end of the day, he really wanted me, but he couldn't have me. I just wanted to fuck. And we did that. And then I sent him back home to you. Was it fucked up? Absolutely. It was scandalous as fuck. But not in this situation because y'all started it. I just finished it. So moral of the story is, don't trust no bitch around your man. Not even somebody that's just like your sister. Because at the end of the day, everybody is fair game, I guess. In this situation, everybody is fair game. You can't trust nobody. Nobody. So, that concludes my story time about how my best friend started fucking my man. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? But so grateful. So grateful for that experience because had it not have happened, I probably would have still been crazy and hung up over this guy. I was forced to get over my first love, and I'm happy that I did because now he looked like a base head. Like, he's doing nothing with his life, and it was the best thing that probably ever happened to me. And of course, I was never her friend again. However, there's no hard feelings on my side. So, like, if I was to see her in the street, I would literally hit her with a head nod or maybe even a hug. She's the one that's pretty uncomfortable when she... Hi. She's the one that's pretty uncomfortable when she sees me. I mean, as she should be. Because, I mean, she's an idiot for doing what she did, and they didn't even last. Like, apparently they're still rocking, but he's still cheating on her many, many times. He doesn't really like me. He, like, hates me, too. Which is fine, because he's a bum. So, that was a bullet that I dodged, for sure. And I don't need bitches like that in my circle. So, it was a great thing, them doing what they did in high school, because in high school, I was a lot more mild-tempered. Some shit like that, if it was to happen now, present day, I would for sure be in jail, because I'm not so sure I would be able to handle that situation so gracefully. So I'm really grateful for that. All right, drop a comment and let me know if you've ever experienced some bullshit like that, or if you guys have ever had a female that was in your tight circle fuck with your man, or vice versa, or a girl mess with your dude, like, or dude mess with your homegirl. Like, let me know. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, holla at me in the comment section, and if you haven't, subscribe to my channel. Like, let me know that you rock with my videos and that you enjoyed this story time. Bye guys, till next time, peace.